and welcome to Witness. I'm Rida Fakhri. The ancient and holy city of Varanasi attracts Hindu faithful from across India. Many of them come there to die. Hindus believe that by dying in Varanasi and having their ashes scattered in the Ganges River, they will be freed from the constant cycles of death and rebirth. Many of them stay in one small guest house, Mukti Bhawan, or Salvation House. Its manager, Bhairavnath Shukla, expects guests to die within 2 weeks of checking in. In today's Witness, directors James Leong and Lin Lee follow two families as they bring their dying relatives to India's holiest city for what they hope will be a final stopover on the road to release at Salvation House.
For centuries, Hindu pilgrims have journeyed to the ancient city of Varanasi. To wash in the sacred waters of the holy Ganga. To pray. And to die. For Hindus believe that by dying here, they put an end to the cycle of death and rebirth and gain direct entry to heaven. They come from hundreds of miles away, many too old and too frail to walk. The very poor often check into this red building, Mukti Bhawan, or Salvation House. Here, lodging is free. Those who can afford it pay for food and electricity. Those who can't pay nothing at all. Bhairavnath Shukla has been manager of the house since 1972.
We pray for the dying throughout the day so that they can gain salvation. This is our great attraction. People will leave their businesses, their jobs, and their families to come here. Nobody cries when they die here. In fact, they are proud and become spiritually aware. And the families feel proud that their fathers or grandfathers will attain salvation.
Shivakumar Tiwari Shankar is 90. His son Umar only wants to fulfill his last wish.
This is his desire. Almost everyone in my family is brought to Varanasi to die. I am very happy that we can bring him to this pure and holy place. If he dies here, and I hope that he will die here, he will go to God Shiva's place and may get salvation. He won't have to come into this world again.
Down the corridor, 85-year-old Chideshwar Pandey is also waiting for death. It's a desire too complex for his 8-year-old grandson, Bipin Pandey, to comprehend.
We gave him medicine in our village, but it didn't work. So they said, let's take him to Varanasi.
But why did you come to Varanasi?
We brought Grandpa here for a checkup.
Those who come to die here, the rogi, usually do so within 5 days of checking in. But predicting death is an inexact science.
We do have a rule that says guests can only stay for 15 days, but we're not a hotel. We can't just send them away if they're still alive. We will extend their stay so they can gain salvation.
For relatives of the rogi, the wait can be excruciating. Umar Shankar and his sister have been in Varanasi for nearly 4 weeks. They've spent nearly all their money and have been trying to get their older brother to help out.
ठंडा के दिन बा ना स्वेटर बा ना कंबल बा कोनो जुगाड़ है नहीं है उन्हें लेके आवे के चाहिए पैसा वैसा के कुछ व्यवस्था करो भी हाँ जा
ये लोग का काम करे छो हमरा से बात करे थी तो हम लोग से पूछी थी कि हम से का बती होले घरों में जाते हैं
चिन्ह तड़ू हमरा के पहचान तड़ी हाँ हमरा के पहचान तड़ी हाँ.
Back at Salvation House, a man tries to say goodbye to his wife. The next morning, she is carried away for cremation. It's the first time Bipin has seen death up close. Bipin's father tries to explain the morning's events to his son.
नहीं समझा मृतक आदमी को देखा ना मृतक सजा रहा मृतक क्या किया हुआ तो यहाँ से जल जाने के बाद क्या करेगा जमदूत यहाँ तो जमदूत प्रवेश नहीं करता है यहाँ शिव का दूत आता है क्या आता है शिव का दूत आता है शिव का दूत आने के बाद ले जाएगा कहाँ शिवलोक शिवपुरी शिव जी के समीप जागराता है क्यों आया है यहाँ लेके बाबा के कि मेरे बाबा मोक्ष मन शिवलोक को वास करे समझा
Because he's witnessed death, Bipin must take a purifying dip in the Ganga. Elsewhere in the city, Umar Shankar is about to find out that the quest for salvation can be expensive business. He's short on cash and wants to plan ahead for his father's funeral. And he's been told that this cluster of shops near the river is the place to go. Wood, funerary goods, even the services of a priest can be had for a price.
5,000 50,000 आपके ऊपर डिपेंड कर रहा है आप
कम से कम 3,000
कर नहीं देंगे तो उधार कहाँ से होंगे मेन तो हम लोग अग्नि देते हैं पूरा शरीर का रोआ पोटी जरेगा सब तो उसका प्राचीन देते हैं तो हम लोग को तो कर देते हैं पूरे लोग ना
Umar knows he doesn't have enough money. He's neglected his farm and has had no income for more than 3 weeks. But he refuses to give up.
I want him to die in Varanasi, so he will get salvation. You can earn money anytime. At times like these, you have to bear a loss. These are my father's final days, so I must do my best for him.
Join me again after the break as the guests approach the end of their time in Salvation House, one way or the other. Welcome back. Salvation House is a guest house in Varanasi, India. It's where devout Hindus come to end their days. Having the ashes scattered in the Ganges River will free them from the constant cycles of death and rebirth. The difficulty, though, is predicting when death will finally arrive.
मरना नहीं कोई चाहता कि यह शरीर एक घर है, एक मकान.
People are afraid of death. What they should understand is that our body is like a rented house. You won't know when the owner wants to return and have it empty. In the same way, the soul of God resides in our bodies. And when the soul will leave our bodies, nobody knows.
One of Shukla's guests has taken a turn for the worse. Shideshwar Pandey can barely move. His brother pleads with him to say God's name.
भैया सुनो कहालियों नाम जपते रहेंगे ना जितना जल्दी आप नाम लेते रहिएगा उनको आप निरंतर में तो निरंतर आपको पहुंचा देंगे जल्दी.
But the old man seems to be in another world. His family takes up the chant for him. It's a plea for salvation. Clearly, everyone thinks the end is near. Down the corridor, it's a different story. Umar Shankar's father is on his feet again.
लग रहा है दिमाग नहीं काम कर रहा है ना. गिर जाइएगा. बैठिए कब तक फंस जाएंगे तो फंस चलिएगा. अच्छी बात है. फंसी तो रहिए तब ना गाड़ी जा रहा है बुला के लेके आएंगे तब चलिएगा. ठीक ना.
Umar is in a bind. His father might die on the journey home and never gain salvation. Down by the Ganga, Umar's sister, Anita Devi, prays for their father. Hindus believe that all life springs from this sacred river, and drinking from it not only strengthens the soul, but also the body. Anita collects a jar of this tonic to feed her father.
When we got him here, he was very close to death. He was unconscious for 5 or 6 days. But water from the Ganga has improved his condition.
Later that evening, Umar brings a doctor to examine his father.
दवा लिख दे कुछ है ना जी.
समस्या इनकी जो है ना उम्र वाली।
It's a prescription for vitamins and protein powder. Shiva Kumar Shankar is 90, and there's not much more the doctor can do. Uma decides to stay at Mukti Bhawan. He doesn't want to risk his father's salvation. Several days later, an unexpected turn of events.
ठंडा में पहन लेगा ऊपर से पहन लेना लाल का स्वेटर अंदर में डाल भी तो सब पहन लेना ठंडा रात में गाड़ी में देखना ठंडा लगेगा.
The Pandys have decided to go home.
My father's been getting better. If he's well, then why stay here? I have business to attend to at home.
For his father, it's a terrible blow.
तो जिंदा नहीं है, ये तो निश्चित हो, जिंदा तो नहीं है फौजों को। कितना करने को खेला, एक दिन हार दिया मेरा मूर्ति क्षेत्र है, भगवान शंकर जी, सागर के संदेश यही है, कभी कभी ऐसे बोल रहा कीजिए।
It's a difficult decision. The Pandys decide to consult Shukla.
उनका इच्छा से नबले आली हैं, तो इच्छा के खिलवाड़ के लिए तन सहयोग नहीं के लिए का मेरे हिसाब से यही अच्छा है.
But Shukla's advice goes unheeded. The next day, the Pandys take the train home. For Shideshwa Pandy, salvation will just have to wait.
Atma, go to ice. Go to ice.
After 44 days at Mukti Bhawan, Shiva Kumar Tiwari Shankar is dead.
वैसे ही रात से जो है कि सांस ऊपर चल रहा था, ऊपर की तरफ सांस तेजी से आभास तो हमको हो चुका था.
Since yesterday, he'd been breathing heavily and with some trouble. I had a feeling that his time had come. At about 6 this morning, I discovered he'd stopped breathing. He was absolutely quiet. I checked his pulse, and there was no pulse. It seemed like a dead body. He'd left.
Umar must now cremate his father, but he doesn't have enough money. He's waiting for his brother to arrive from his village. At nightfall, he's still waiting.
तो बाबूनी से हमके तू कब आओ तो हमनी के तो बैठा के रखले बड़ा तो अभी तुरंत हमारे 60 किलोमीटर दूरी पर में कितना जना
दादा भाई तना कोई यही बरेली कहां रहो
तो ही उनके ऊपर ठिकाने का तुरते ही
तो कहीं झूठ बोलो तो झूठ बोलने वालो आओ तो
अरे अब चलो ना हेलो तो कदले हम गोरखपुर बाटी हम अति लार बानी.
Umar can wait no longer. He must prepare his father's body for the cremation. It seems unlikely his brother will show up. But then, around midnight,
करना तो वाला 2 मिनट 4 मिनट चलो अपनी बात हो गई बोलो
ना हमारा कोनो बात नहीं कर चल
There's no time for recriminations.
राम नाम सत्य है 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 राम नाम सत्य है.
Chanting God's name, they carry their father through the ancient streets of Varanasi, down to one of the city's oldest ghats. Here, Umar purifies himself before performing the final rites. He shaves his head and changes into white robes. He covers his father in ghee, clarified butter, and with sandalwood shavings. Finally, he lights a funeral pyre.
My father did a lot for me. He gave me life and brought me up. He fed me and sent me to school. It is because of him that I am here today. Every drop of blood in my body is his. Now I have fulfilled my responsibilities towards him. He died as he wanted to, so he's very happy. He's under God's care now. He won't go through the cycle of death and rebirth again. He'll never be bitter, worried, or pained again. This is salvation.
A rather unusual guest house. Thank you for watching, and I hope you join me again next time here on Witness.